Hi, and welcome to the Design Find podcast, a space where women are interviewed and in conversation to discuss the highs, lows, and everything in between about being a woman in design. The Design Find has new episodes every Monday, so make sure you come back every week. You can find more on the Design Find podcast Instagram. Hope you enjoy this episode. Hi, and welcome to the Design Find the podcast. Today we have Gabby, and she's going to be sharing with us her stories. So, welcome, Gabby.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here. And I'm excited to have a little chat.
So, to start off, what's your story? Where you're from? What do you do now? Just a little brief introduction.
Sure. So, my name is Gabriella Scerbo. I am a full-time model and actress right now. I live in central New Jersey, like near the beach. And I recently graduated from college. I went to Pace University in New York City. I graduated in December, and I'm currently living at home with my family. And I am commuting to New York and kind of traveling to for work as of right now. Yeah, that's me.
So, can you kind of talk about what you did in college, what you studied, and what you think what you're getting into?
Sure. I originally applied to PACE for their acting for film and TV program. I unfortunately did not get in. I was very sad about that because up until high school, all I had really ever done was like dance and like a whole bunch of acting. So I was really, really devastated, and I really wasn't sure where my career was going to take me because I didn't get into the program. Turns out that my school kind of it was one of those programs where they kind of wanted to mold you to become the certain artist that they wanted you to be. And I felt as though because I had already had a lot of experience doing my own thing before school, that I wasn't the best candidate for the program. And now, I can obviously see that, and that is good. But I think at the time, I didn't really know what to do. So I did not want to go in as undecided. So I decided to major in communications and arts and entertainment management. Communications was my major, and then arts and entertainment management was my minor.
So, going out of college, how'd you kind of decide what you were doing? And how'd you kind of pick about what job or what field you wanted to be in?
Sure. So I've been involved in the whole arts field since I was 10. So I started with dance, and then I kind of evolved into like musical theater a lot throughout high school. I did my first professional show when I was 12, and I really got like a deeper look into like what a day in the life of somebody that does this kind of full time. And I definitely got the bug, and I got that kind of feeling that you get when you know that you're meant to do something. I kind of got that from this show that I did when I was 12. And it was a really, really wonderful experience. And then I did a lot of straight acting as well. This was throughout high school. I um, also took voice lessons since I was about 10 as well, just to supplement all of this. And then I kind of changed paths a little bit into from like more plays into film and TV work. Um, and I have now kind of changed the whole modeling world. And I'm just kind of getting back into acting as well. So it's kind of just been like a 360 from what I was doing when I was younger. Is kind of coming full circle to what I'm kind of doing right now, and what I want to continue to do in the future.
That's so cool, and it's really cool to hear that you started when you were really young. What kind of, because usually you don't hear that often. What kind of started you when you were young?
Sure. So I'll never forget, it was my middle school's production of we did like a Santa themed play. I was in 4th grade and I got the lead role. The character's name was Crystal Snowflake. And I just had fun with her. I feel like Crystal was she was like very, very sassy. She was like a lot of what I kind of feel like I am today, and like what I like embody as a person. I feel like she was that in a kind of character. And I just felt, when I was on stage, I felt really comfortable, and I felt really nice, just like singing, just like dancing, just being up there, and creating something that wasn't real, but in the moment was real to me, and was also real, to the whole audience, experiencing that whole kind of art that took place that night. And from there, like, I was like, okay, like, I want to do more of this. Like, how can I do more of this? And then, yeah, I talked to my music teacher after that, and I was like, hey, like, I think that my mom did, because I was very young at the time. And she was like, hey, like, how can my daughter do more of this? Like, she really, really liked it. Um, and then, yeah, it's just been kind of just a snowball of so many different things, all exciting and fun. And I wouldn't give any of it up to do anything else. Yeah.
And how did you kind of decide to be in the model world? Because I feel like that's a not super different industry, but it is definitely a change in how you kind of decided to get into that.
Sure. So modeling is very difficult. Um, it is very difficult. It is very cutthroat. Um, it is unlike acting in a way. I feel as though actors, they definitely get paid more. A lot of the modeling stuff that the models have to do, especially when they're first starting out, is a lot of stuff for exposure. So exposure is great, but if it's not getting you to that next level, it's just kind of like, you can definitely like kind of like stay at a very steady rate, where I feel like acting, there are many a lot of different components in it. So I started modeling like I'm sorry, the summer of 2019 was the first time that I kind of got into it. I had gone to a modeling school when I was very young. I think this was like 12, 13, 14. Yeah, my parents paid a lot of money, and I went to this modeling school, and it was more like modeling, but there was also a lot of like acting within it as well. And I definitely think at that time I was like more geared towards the whole acting side. So I never really did much with that. Like, through the school we did some fashion shows, and those were great. But that was only like one or two, and I was very young, so I feel like a part of me also was like, okay, like, what's going on? um like, it was definitely like a supplement to what I had already done, um but I was also very young, so I still had a lot to learn. So I've been modeling now consistently for the past 3 years, but if I'm gonna be perfectly honest, I just started getting more paid gigs just within the past 5 months or so. So all the time before that was for exposure. I was doing a lot of things for free, or just not only that, spending a lot of time and really not getting a lot or as much as I would have liked out of it. So because I live in New Jersey and I have to commute to New York, the commute would cost a lot. It still does. So it's kind of hard, like when you don't get anything out of it, because it's like I'm spending all this money and I'm not getting like really a return on my like investment, if that makes any sense. Like I'm not getting as much of um some stuff out of it as I would like. But I'm very happy right now. And just to say, within these past 5 months, I've been getting some steady gigs. And I'm really, really humbled, and I'm really, really blessed for that. But it is very tough. And I'm constantly like on my phone looking for like castings, on websites looking for castings. I'm like all over the place, like every day. Like I constantly have to be on top of it to find work.
And how does your work kind of relate to being in the design field, or how has it shifted your perspective about design?
Sure. So as far as the design field, I feel like all artists in a way are designing something. Whether that is a physical painting, or whether um, designing a certain photo, or like if a model has a certain um, artistic idea that she wants to create or recreate. I definitely feel like that is a form of design, in a way, that you are collaborating with different types of artists to design something new, something that has never been seen before, or something that has been seen, but because each artist is very, very different, they're going to have their own kind of way of showing that, and they're going to bring their own perspective to that. So I definitely think that design has a lot to do with my whole entire industry. um, I think that models have definitely changed the design world, through their own abilities to take photos, as well as to like represent certain brands, and kind of, I guess, the way that they represent the brands also kind of changes the um, design and the whole world that is what we know as design. And I think that with technology more being something that is used quite often, that will just further change the design world, and that will kind of mesh in with the whole modeling acting world as well.
And what are some like specific examples that you would say that you've incorporated design in, like when you're modeling? If it has to do with like, I don't know, any um, like expectations you have for a photo shoot, or new ideas that come up, anything like that.
Sure. I'm trying to think. So as far as modeling goes, I think that wardrobe and expression and makeup and styling have a lot to do with the like overall design of the photo and the look that we're trying to create and um, embody. So I'm sorry, can you just repeat the question very quickly?
How, like, how have you used design like incorporated in your field? Like, what ideas have you done or things that you've like tried to pursue?
Sure. So I also feel like design, I took a playwriting class when I was my sophomore year of college. And I think that my designing of like ideas and my designing of my prior knowledge of the whole kind of industry, and things that I've read and things that I've seen have definitely helped me to kind of write the scripts that we had to write for our class. And I was actually just talking about this with a friend today, but it was just kind of about the fact that I would really now, having more experience in this whole industry, I would like to build upon those scripts. So I think that my knowledge of like what I learned in that class, plus my life experiences, plus what I've done in my career up until now, will really change and reflect on the overall design and like piece that I will continue to create, because I already have something drafted, but I definitely would like to add to it because who knows what it could turn into. I think that's the really fascinating thing about my whole industry is that you never, like, nothing is truly set in stone, and it's really fun to design something with somebody or with several people, to create something new and something really different that I think is going to move people. I think it's really all about also the emotion and design play a big a big role together, to create that kind of newness, that something that people will really love and will really touch people. So yeah, I think design and emotion and design and writing, two really big main things in the whole modeling acting world, that I think go very nicely together.
I completely agree. And what like creative opportunities are you able to have as a model? Like, where is the line between the photographer or the director of the shoot tells you what to do versus what you want to do?
Sure. So if I'm going to be honest, it really depends. Each project is really different, and the people in charge will want something different. If I'm doing like a shoot for my portfolio and I have to, you know, give a certain, like shoot a certain look for my book so that clients will want to book me, it really is, that is my idea solely. The photographer may have some say, and that's always great because two minds working together for me is a lot better than one, because I do like to have their input sometimes in what they think would look best or what they think that the feel, and the mood of the photo, and or the brand is trying to convey. Um, but sometimes it's just like I will have to kind of think of my own thing, or like they will give me very specific directions and I just have to kind of listen to that, especially if they're also paying me a certain amount of money to do that. I will just kind of listen to them and like not really have a say. So it all kind of depends on each project. Also, certain brands will want like a certain feel. I did a campaign for Mountain Dew in November, which was really cool. And yeah, they were kind of like, there was like I had no say in that shoot, which is not bad, but because it is like a brand to that higher level, they were like, we are going to do what Mountain Dew wants. And for me, it was like, well, yes, I have to do what they want. They're paying me. I was really humbled that I was even there, to have been picked for the shoot. So yeah, so it's in like those specific instances that it's like this specific brand has a kind of image that they want to portray and convey, and I have to be the model to bring that to life in the very best way that I can do that. Or if there's like a certain emotion that they also want me to kind of carry out for that shoot, I will definitely do that. So I think, going back to what I said before, it really just depends, just because each project is really different. And that is one of the reasons why I love it, because you never really know what you're going to get. So it's always good to be prepared to never really know. So it keeps you on your toes, and you always have to be very focused and very aware.
What are some of your favorite shoots that you've done?
Sure. So I would definitely say the Mountain Dew one was one of my favorites. I did a commercial for New York Presbyterian Hospital. That was really cool. I actually see it aired on TV a lot now. I saw it when I was at the gym, but I wasn't able to record it in time. I was very sad, but things happen. And then another one of my favorite shoots, I would say, I did a commercial with Ryan Reynolds, actually, but I got cut out of it. So that's one of the other things too, is like sometimes they'll decide to have people in a shoot. But then at the last minute, if they don't like, the way that looked, or like if something about it in the script just is not portraying the best that it can be, the brand or the company that the shoot is for will actually cut the scene. So I got paid for it. I got to meet him. I was on set, but they cut my whole scene, and it was just me and this one other girl. And yeah, it was really cool. He was really, really awesome. He's a really, really humble, really wonderful person. Yeah, but but I would definitely say that's one of my tops. New York Fashion Week, I would say, is also on one of my tops. It's just a really thrilling feeling, just being up there with the lights, with the cameras. I've met a lot of really wonderful models along the way, and some of them I have met at New York Fashion Week. So I'm also really humbled and blessed for that, and for meeting those really great people. Yeah, let's say those are my
And
tops.
lastly, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Sure. So in 5 years, I would really like to continue doing this, if I can, and also travel doing this as well. I have some shoots coming up where it requires me to travel in the United States, but I definitely would like to continue to travel more. And definitely continue to save money to move out and have a place of my own, and have that independence working kind of lifestyle with some friends, of course.
Well, cool. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Well, thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun.
Hey, I hope you loved this episode. If you did, rate and review on Apple Podcast and Spotify, or send it to people who you would think would be interested in listening in. You can learn more about the guests in the show notes or on the Design Find Instagram. The Design Find podcast is under the Entrepreneurs Network.